Wow. Clear Eyes by Aiden Swank featuring Bleach Blonde here on 98.5 WNUW LP Aston. You're listening to the Kickoff. My name's Owen. I'm with Luigi. Luigi, how was your weekend, my friend?
Really good, really good. Napoli won, so a smile's always on my face, you know?
This guy always caring about Napoli. What's going on in the Serie A? Unfortunately, we're not going to get there until the second break.
Yeah.
First, we have to start off with the Premier League. Now, there's a lot of developing storylines in the Premier League. The most notable being, will Arsenal blow the lead? Will Tottenham get relegated or not? And obviously, Chelsea, the spending is a serious issue. We are net negative, was that 150 million?
About so, yeah.
That's how deep we are in the hole. I was sent that graphic by two different people, so that was nice. I got my dose of Chelsea content. Since Abramovich left, things haven't been the same. Now, I can't say that it's like that for Napoli as well. I just know what it's like for my club. The struggles will continue. Arsenal, though, on the other hand, they were sliding, and then all of a sudden, when they needed it most, they grabbed a frustrating 1-0 win home against Newcastle.
Hey, they'll take what they can get. I mean, listen.
They most definitely will.
As a spectacular goal that he scored, that's just like one of those pure technique goals where it's like you just hit it right, top left corner. Just to me, it was a really good goal. I liked it. But the thing is, it's kind of like Arsenal do not play the most attractive football. It's really just you score one goal. And, a lot of Arsenal fans, like AFTV troops, they've all said, even in past games, it's like there are certain games where Arteta will play to not lose, but not to win. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they've criticized him a lot because that's kind of how the mentality was in the City game where it was just don't lose. But, if we win, we win. But if we just try it, absolutely not losing. And it backfired for them. But, Newcastle, I think they may have had the worst transfer market a team has ever had. They spent, and this was in our flops list, Voltamata, 75 million comes off the bench. Alanga, the same price. Well, no, 55 million. Only played 5 minutes. Johan Vissa, over nearly 60 million, who literally had 1 year left on his contract. Had they not just waited a year, they could have gotten him on a free, regardless if it was good or bad. Jacob Ramsey, another poor signing from Villa, worth 42 million. The only signing or signings that have been good have been Malik Thiaw, the center back, and then Aaron Ramsdale, who's been all right when Nick Pope has been out. They just had a really poor market, and, who knows if we'll see them in the Champions League or any European competitions for that matter anytime soon.
Newcastle are kind of like Chelsea right now. They're dropping form in the most important part of the season. This is when you have to be making the surge, making the push for what you just said for European football. And they've got 4 losses in the last 5.
Yeah.
And Chelsea I don't even want to talk about it, but
well, at least they made it to the FA Cup final with the win against Leeds at the weekend.
That is true. We did take down Leeds, and even that didn't feel. I don't know. We will be going up against City, right?
Yeah, Man City,
Chelsea. Just, I wanted to make sure, but I'm,
not feeling it.
Not really feeling any confidence there. We usually play the better teams tougher, similar to what Man United does. Man United's on right now, playing Brentford right now. Game just kicked off 8 minutes ago, but usually Chelsea does that. Hopefully we're able to do that. We can rise to the occasion against City. But City's been playing well recently as well.
City's been really good form as of recently.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's the only Premier League game on right now. But on Saturday, it wasn't just Arsenal. We also had Liverpool grabbing a much-needed win at Palace. Tottenham, this is the one I really wanted to ask you about. Also, they got the win against Wolves. Also, West Ham got a win against Everton, and Fulham beat Villa at home. So big win there for the Cottagers.
Big win.
Back to Tottenham, though. We thought these guys were going to get relegated. Do you think this is definitely going to happen? Because it still is not mathematically confirmed one way or the other.
I think they probably will, because luck is just not on their side. Xavi Simons tore his ACL, and he's out till 2027. And he was actually playing really good the last, 3-4 games. West Ham got, a 94th minute winner with Callum Wilson at, the death. It just seems like whenever, even if they do something right, it's always going to be something else that won't happen in their favor. Everton this season's been really, better than an Everton season, to say the least. You rarely see Everton in the top 10.
Right.
And
the
last couple years.
Yeah.
Now you're seeing that, Moyes has built a good team with the likes of, Grealish, Dewsbury Hall, and they've been quite all right. And West Ham this season's also been struggling, to say the least. They're 2 points ahead of Tottenham in 17th. So, they still have them down their neck. And they've also been informed. They've been picking up a lot of results. Speaking of which, Man United just scored. But
here we go. Goal.
And, I just think, again, Tottenham just really unlucky. And I just don't know. Even in their net, like I said, in the next couple fixtures, they got
Casemiro. It's always Casemiro.
Villa away, Leeds at home, Chelsea away, and then Everton at home.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't really I don't see them winning against Villa. And then Leeds, question mark. I can see a draw. Chelsea, I would say Chelsea wins, even if, they're not in the best of form. And then Everton, maybe a draw, but I wouldn't be surprised if Everton took that. Those are my thoughts on the Tottenham situation, yeah.
Yeah, they have a really, really tough one out next week against Villa, and they have to go to Villa, which is not an easy place to play. You mentioned playing to not necessarily win the game, but more so not lose. Unai Emery can do that, should they have to. He's another strong Spanish tactical mind. Mm-hmm. Couple of real stinkers next week. But first, before we go into next week, I wanted to just hit at a couple more games from this past week. 3-0 Brighton to Chelsea. Did you get a chance to see any of that game or any of the highlights? Because I was tuning in and I was clawing my eyes out. I mean, 3-0 felt like 6-0. We looked dejected. We did not look like we wanted to be there, man. Just complete throwaway team.
Yeah, the thing is, there's so much, I'm not trying to be offensive, but there's so much wrong with Chelsea in the way, even just from, the hierarchy to the coaching to the players. Listen, this isn't MLB. This isn't the NBA. Stop giving coaches and players 7-year contracts, because you literally gave Rosenior, who was who's supposed to be just an interim manager from Strasbourg, who now they're in the semifinals of the Conference League. You gave him a 6-year contract instead of just the normal standard 6-month interim coach contract.
Don't even get me started on that guy.
And then now you sacked him, and you have to pay him a $24 million buyout for the next 6 years that you're paying him $4 million a year until he probably gets a new job, of course. But even just the players are really disappointing. Neto cannot cross a ball to save his life. Palmer, I don't know what it is, but he's just been very out of it. Don't even get me started on Garnacho, because we've already talked enough about him. Fernandes and Caicedo have been good. They've had some slumps, but I think they're the few that save himself in Cucurella. The goalkeeping with Sanchez, that man cannot make a save for his life. Malo Gusto is worse than Reece James. And I'd rather have Reece James with one leg than Malo Gusto when he plays. And then let's not even talk about the center backs, because we've discussed that on other episodes as well.
Dude, I know. The only bright spot is Hato, who we also signed and could be possibly something. But yeah, we have some terrible center backs over there at Chelsea Football Club.
Yeah, I think if you give him enough time, he'll be able to develop into something good.
Rosenior has been compared to David Brent from what is it, The In-Betweeners? Is that show?
Yeah.
It's British TV. There's a lot of memes going on about this guy. He was never a real serious manager. I wasn't a big fan of Enzo at the start, but Enzo came in and proved himself. Mm-hmm. Didn't want to take crap from anybody. And Rosenior was kind of like a pushover. So we've had both ends of the spectrum, and we've sacked both of them quickly. So I don't know what the goal is. You're handing these managers, these inexperienced managers, inexperienced players, expecting them to do something with it. Frustrating stuff from Chelsea. It bleeds over into the regular season. Eventually, you cannot play at the level you were playing at. You know, the mask is only there for so long until the team's true identity come the new year is revealed. So, very frustrating stuff. Very frustrating stuff. Man City got the win against Burnley. Leeds did tie Bournemouth 2-2. Also, Sunderland and Nottingham Forest. Forest got a much, much, much needed win. So this is just making things even more difficult for... This is just making things even more difficult for Tottenham down at the bottom, because we have teams like Nottingham Forest who are switching it on when they absolutely need it most, as Luigi's doing to the camera there. 5-0.
5-0.
They 5-0'd Sunderland. That's a game I should ask you about, really. Did you get to catch any of that?
I didn't catch any of it,
yeah.
but I saw the score. I was like actually going back to the Tottenham thing, when I saw that, I was like, yeah, Tottenham's going down.
5 different scorers, too. Wow.
I think one of them was an own goal, too. I'll check it real quick.
Yeah, first one. Own goal.
One of them was an own goal. Yeah. It's just...
Not to be confused with philosopher and Catholic Franciscan scholar David Hume. Oh. Not to be confused with that person. Sorry, just flexing my knowledge. It's all good. Flexing my intuition and my knowledge. These are things I saw the last name and boom, this is it. That was what was coming. All of a sudden, that's what I thought of. I don't know. But yeah, no, 5-0 for Nottingham Forest going to Sunderland. Wow.
And I heard that Sunderland might sack their manager at the end of the season because I don't know why there was this ambition, but apparently they might sack him because they wanted him to at least go close into competing for the European spots.
Bro, they're right smack in the middle of the league. You know what I mean? That's perfectly fine.
Especially for a newly promoted team,
you get your money and you make a signing or two in this offseason, and then you regroup and you go at it again.
Slowly build it up. You can't just expect it immediately just because, maybe between, like I said, 6th and 14th, it's only an 8-point gap. You got to be realistic with yourself. Then, there's this one game here I really want to talk about. Liverpool 3, Crystal Palace 1.
Yeah, most definitely. Let's get into it.
Guess who the goal scorers were? Or you probably will see it.
In this one?
Yeah. Wirtz and Isak, who I had as my 2 worst signings this season. I still stand by that. Don't let whoever follows soccer, do not let this measly performance, fool you or anything.
It took them this long. Yeah, I know. And Wirtz, 90th minute +6.
It was a nice goal though.
Jam goal. I mean, yeah, but come on, bro. That doesn't count. Game was basically over.
Yeah, and then Isak. The only goal that I liked the most was actually the Robertson goal. They had it was a good through ball pass from the left wing, and then someone else, I think one of the forwards. Oh no, it was probably McAllister played him back, or maybe Jones. I forget who it was. And then they played Robertson, and honestly, kind of like a winger / striker finish, just slotted bottom right corner. It's a really nice goal, to say the least. I do want to say that Crystal Palace's goal shouldn't have counted because, Liverpool's goalkeeper went down on the ground and should have just kicked the ball out of play. Instead, went unsportsmanlike and just kicked it in the net. And for whatever reason, the goal still stood. But, yeah, Liverpool...
I'm reviewing that right now.
Now that Liverpool have slowly picked up some form in the last couple games. Now with the 5th place spot being open, seems more likely that, they won't have to worry about not qualifying for Champions League. So I think Brighton in 6th, if they drop points in 2 games and Liverpool win, I think it's basically a guarantee for them.
What? Yeah, definitely. What do you think about, especially with a team like Liverpool, one of the biggest clubs in the world? What do you think about this whole playing on thing and the respect aspect? Because this is the odd thing in soccer since the beginning of time. For as long as I can remember, and since they started playing the game, it's do you or do you not kick the ball out when somebody goes down? Usually you do. My teams always did.
Same.
We
yeah.
we always did. We had teams against us that tried to pull fast ones, and not kick it out, but we always would kick it out of respect. So Munoz at the edge of the box, down 2-0. The only thing going through his head there is score, shoot the ball.
Probably.
So I mean, what do you think of a player like that doing that against Liverpool in that moment? Especially, it's the goalie that's down, but it's at the edge of the box though. It's literally right there. You know what I mean? So like, what do you think?
It's all about like literally the situation and like the circumstance of like where it's at. Like, I can understand what was going through his mind. Like you say, like he's right at the edge of the box. He sees an open net. Like you kind of like, then it's kind of like, I was kind of critical of it, but now that like, you put in like in a different way, I understand like he kind of just wanted to shoot it, score, because like probably was like the only chance that they may have gotten that game. In other cases, when it's like, you see a guy down and you're in your own half, like you might as well just kick the ball out.
Yeah.
And then like just replay it from there, get his treatment and whatever. But
yeah, did you ever have a top 10 football respects moment? Did you ever have like an extreme respect moment when you played?
Yeah, one time I remember like one kid on the opposing team like literally cleated my teammate, and the ref somehow just didn't call a foul. And then the guy was like, he was just holding up the ball, and he was like, stop, and then he like kicked it out of bounds. And then like afterward, like we had a throw in, he got treated, we got a throw in, and then like, we just started playing back from there. And like after the game, him and I talked, and I was like, I respected what you did earlier. Not many players would do that, like especially at our age.
You had to go up, really? You went up to him. So that was mad respect moments.
No, yeah, I was just
if you went and found him afterward, you were like, yo, respect.
I would have said, I was gonna say something during the game, but like we were all too like locked in, so I was like, I'll just wait till the end of the game to say something to him.
That's mad football respect moments. That's one of the memes that's on not just YouTube. It's made its way onto the gram as well. But you can kind of see when something nice happens or there's a wholesome moment in society, people use that. They'll use that term. So, like, for example, if there's an old woman crossing the street, and I go over and I help her cross the street.
Mad respect.
Yeah. Bro, that's not... I didn't expect him to say that. Caught me by surprise there, Luigi. We are going to hit a short break here on 98.5 WNUW. Luigi and I are on the kickoff. We're talking soccer. That was a little bit on the Premier League. There's some upcoming games next week that are going to be very important. Specifically the City game, obviously the Chelsea game, as we've lost 5 in a row in the Premier League now. Just horrid stuff. But don't go anywhere, folks. You don't want to miss a beat. We're talking about the Serie A and then the UCL, and then we're giving some predictions in just a bit here on 98.5 WNUW. This is Leaf by Title Fight. Oh, heck yeah, Luigi. Come on, bro. That's what I'm talking about. Stars by Hum here on 98.5 WNUW. You're listening to the Kickoff, everybody's favorite soccer show here at 98.5 and the surrounding area, of course. Luigi, I wanted to ask you about the Serie A. Can you give the folks an insight into what's going on with Napoli as they move to second in the table, 2 points ahead of Milan?
On Friday, Napoli played this, I think they're 18th, 17th place, Cremonese. Won 4-0. Finally, Antonio Conte finally listened to me and started Alison Santos. Antonio Conte, message to you. If you want good soccer knowledge, come to me. I could be your assistant and I could help you out.
Of course, Luigi knows ball. Come on, man.
I could help you out. Maybe people wouldn't be against you, but, I mean, listen, it's a good victory, yes, and a much-needed victory after a draw and a loss, but I want to see this team in action Saturday at 12 when we play Como because, with all due respect to Cremonese, they're not a really good team. And, like De Bruyne had a goal and assist, but, it's against a poor team. I want to see this team against, like I said, the likes of Como on Saturday to see what we're truly made of. In regards to the other games, I'll just go over the more important ones, like Torino, Inter, and Milan Juventus. So Torino and Inter tied 2-2 at the weekend, which Inter, if they win their next match next Sunday against Parma, means that they win the Serie A this season and become the champions.
That would put them 12 clear.
Yes. Now they're only 10 clear, so, makes it look a little bit more respectable, but...
Well, yeah, I mean, there's only... How many games left?
4.
Exactly, yeah, so...
I was kind of glad to see they were up 2-0, and DeMarco broke the assist record with, I think, 17 or 18 assists.
DeMarco has been unbelievable. That has been the debate. Will he be the left back team of the year in FIFA this year? Yeah.
He probably will.
Or will he get the Serie A team of the season? I'm sorry, there.
He definitely. I think he probably wins MVP. I mean, for a wingback or to get that many assists, I think it's impressive. I was glad to see. Torino come back tie 2-2. I'm glad to see Simeone, an ex-Napoli player, play. And this is where, it really hurts my heart because he wanted to stay at Napoli and he would have done anything to play. But our head coach, since he's very ignorant, said, I want to go buy Lorenzo Luca for $35 million and I'll sell Simeone for $8 million, okay? And this is not the president's fault. This is all Conte's fault, by the way. You buy a player for $35 million, Lorenzo Luca, and then after 6 months, he's gone and he had 1 goal, and now he doesn't even get called up for Nottingham's Prem matches. And Simeone has 10 goals.
Yeah.
And he was sold for $8 million. Luca has 3 goals his entire season, and Simeone has 10. And then instead we bought a guy for $35 million who has much less.
Reiterate on how this is Conte's fault.
Because Conte wanted this forward. He had said in an interview back when they had played in the prior season that I really like a player of that stature and that mobility movement, even though when he runs, he looks like he's running in cement. I will be honest with you, I liked the signing at first, but my issue is that he needed, a lot of his goals, at least 7 of them from last season were off of crosses, headers. We don't have players that can cross the ball adequately, or that actually is a decent cross. He can barely do it.
De Bruyne is the best, but maybe he's not getting himself into those wide positions anymore to do so.
Which is another Conte's fault. When has De Bruyne ever played in the 3-4-2-1 as an almost right winger?
I don't know. Yeah. That's another thing is he was used very elegantly in the Pep system. He found his strengths and hid the weaknesses. This is a different De Bruyne that you're getting.
The thing is, De Bruyne has been bad, but to some degree, I don't even think it's his fault. I think it's just Conte not understanding how to manage this team. When has De Bruyne ever been on, a right wing? Basically almost a right wing. He's always been an attacking midfielder playing behind the striker. Or being when Pep did the 3-2-4-1, he was put next to someone like Bernardo Silva, who was also another attacking midfielder. So it made sense that he was also behind the striker as well. Now he's not really playing behind the striker. You're just getting him, quote unquote, out of position, and it just does not suit his game, and it's honestly hurting the team. But, regardless.
You guys do move into second place, though.
We do move into second place because Milan and Juventus tied 0-0.
Yes, right. Yeah.
Very, very boring game. I watched the entire thing because, honestly, for Napoli, this was probably the most ideal result, the draw. But, Milan hit the crossbar with Salamakers. It was a really good link-up play. Juve had scored, but the goal was offside by, a fraction.
Yeah.
And, again, not, from both teams. It was basically, Milan towards the 80th minute had basically put all their thought into just defending to not concede.
Yeah.
Because I don't know why. And I think that topic there kind of ties to why Italy as a national team, even just the teams in Italy, fail as well. Because the 3-5-2 system, it worked 30 years ago, and we still have head coaches who try implementing.
They're still trying to die on that hill.
And that's why, the progression of Italy, teams, just the teams and the national team fail. If we're still insisting with this 3-5-2 system or this 3-back, every team works with a 3-back system. It's just not modern. It's so defensive based. We don't have good, Italy does not have good defenders maybe besides Inter, but even then, they're all system players. Like you see when they go to the national team, they don't do jack. Like,
no,
at
they
all.
do not do jack.
They don't
No.
do. They don't do anything.
No.
But
No.
I don't know. That's kind of like the
And
wrap up.
okay, and the problem is also manifesting itself not just at Milan but at other clubs.
Mhm.
Yeah. Well, places we're not really seeing that. Jose, right? And then, with Roma, changed the culture there a bit. Roma's still kind of doing their thing now.
Yeah, Roma.
They got a win, and also Como got a win. So they're neither of those two clubs want to give each other an inch. Pause, but they're right next to each other in the table, fighting for European soccer. And there's somebody I was about to say football, and I was about to say Champions League. I had to choose my words wisely. People don't call it football over here. They call it football everywhere else in the world except for here.
Soccer.
And Canada. What they call it in Canada. I don't know.
I don't recall.
Who would want to go there? That is the question. That is the question. Canada could be good at the next World Cup.
Yeah,
They're in an
good
easy
players.
group, so
They got good players. They got David. They got Davies. They got Buchanan
yeah.
from Villarreal. They got a decent enough squad.
Yeah, and they have a good group too. They have an easy group for them, so they should be able to do something.
Mhm.
But yes, no, Serie A always sending some of the best players from the world to the Italian national team and to other teams. The UCL is upon us. We're going to save UCL for the final segment. The way it is right now in the Serie A, Inter's atop the table with 79 points, 10 points clear of second place Napoli. Milan is behind them, then Juventus. Then Como and Roma tied for fifth with 61 points. Atalanta, 7 points outside of sixth place with 54. So it's just a brutal drop off there.
Yeah, no, I think the top six has basically been confirmed.
It's basically set. Yeah.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, at the bottom, you mentioned Cremonese. They're still fighting for relegation with Lecce. That's an ongoing battle. And game right now, Udinese is playing Lazio right now.
And Udinese is winning 1-0.
I said that right? Let's go.
Yeah.
I was expecting Luigi to be like, actually, bro. Rigatoni and meatballs. What's something else? Linguine, and correct me, but he didn't do so.
And we made this team Lazio look like prime Barcelona.
Yeah.
I repeat it again.
Prime
Conte out. I'll repeat it.
Conte out. He needs to come to MLS. That's where prime Barcelona is now. Inter Miami.
I will repeat it until I'm bored. Conte out. I want someone else. Just because we won 4-0 at the weekend doesn't change my mind.
Yeah, same thing with Chelsea right now. If we got a win right now, it doesn't change the circumstances.
Exactly.
There's bigger moving parts at play. We're just talking about the world of corruption here. I meant the world of soccer. Wow, it's the second time I've done that. Wow.
Yeah.
Oopsie daisy. Mixing up. Sometimes those terms are interchangeable.
Mm-hmm.
We are going to a short break because we need to talk about the Champions League. That's what everybody wants to know. They want to know what are our predictions because Luigi has so far predicted all of the rounds from the Champions League basically perfectly. So don't go anywhere, folks. Here on 98.5 WNUW, you're listening to the Kickoff. Up next, I'm playing Mineral. This is Gloria by Mineral. New Computers by Girlfriends off of the self-titled album called Girlfriends here on 98.5 WNUW. A little bit of math rock. Yeah. Hit them with that emo shoegaze rock and then follow up with that math rock, Luigi. We're hitting them from both sides.
That's good.
Coming at them from all angles. Just kidding. That's only two, really. That's really only two faces of the circle there. Because that's what it is. Music is a circle. It's a round object. It's not, square with just a certain number of sides on it. Mm-hmm. We were talking about the Kickoff because we like to talk about soccer here on 98.5 WNUW from 3 to 4 p.m. every single Monday. Fridays are for NBA. Monday is for soccer. And we were talking about the UEFA Champions League. Now tomorrow...
The champions!
That's right. Now, tomorrow, Tomorrow. I love Chelsea Football Club. Tomorrow. We miss Roman Abramovich.
dearly.
but he was too close to Vladimir Putin, so
Yeah.
he couldn't. Vladimir Putin, not Vladimir.
I
Putin.
thought you said that as like a joke.
No, it was not a joke.
Oh.
It most definitely was not a joke. That's the kind of thing that could get you if you were somewhere else. But here, we'd like to think we still have some integrity left. At least just a wee bit, just a little bit.
Just a little bit.
Tomorrow, PSG is playing Bayern, the two best clubs in the world. Now, this is a heavyweight matchup right here. And it's going to be two questions coming from me. First question, Luigi, who do you have winning the game tomorrow? Second question, Luigi, who is the best football club in the world right now? Who's the best soccer team right now? There's two questions I need you to answer.
Both answers, PSG. To the first and to the second question, PSG.
I had a feeling it'd be the same answer for both.
You know, a little bit of, I think it's mostly because I got a little bit of bias for PSG. I like, Kvara, and also like a bunch of ex-players have played for PSG, like Cavani, Lavezzi, etc. But this team, like I've said in past episodes, is complete. If they got one of the teams in like the other bracket, they would have easily won. I will say this though, PSG will win. It's not going to be easy whatsoever. It's going to be really difficult. Like I could see some really high-scoring fixtures. But I think PSG, since they have basically the same team in comparison to last year, added a few pieces, maybe some good, some bad. They know the experience. They know what it's like being in this position. They know what it takes to get over the hurdle. They know how to fight against, like, if something were to go bad. They know how to react. I'm not saying Bayern doesn't have those qualities, and they do have a lot of experienced players who have won, like Kimmich, Goretzka in his last season, Neuer, of course, and that's going to be a great helping hand. But you cannot count out Luis Enrique because Luis Enrique has had his back against the wall many times, and he's always managed to, get beyond that.
Yes, Luis Enrique, critically acclaimed manager. Everybody in the football world that knows the game understands the value that Luis Enrique brings to a football club. Mm-hmm. He's not a showy manager. He's not going to win over your heart, but he knows business and he knows tactics. That's for sure. Mm-hmm. He showcased a lot of that at Barca, achieved a lot at Barca. People forget about that.
He won a treble with them. 2014-15.
Not everybody wins a treble. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's not an easy thing to do.
And he's done it twice. Once with Barca, once with PSG last season.
Now, PSG facing Bayern. I believe for me, I must go the other way. I think Bayern will get I think they will possibly lose tomorrow. Most likely a draw. I like a 2-2 draw tomorrow. Mm-hmm. But I think that Bayern will come out on top in that series, and then they will win the Champions League, and they will prove that they are the number one team in the world.
Fair enough.
I'm a Bayern supporter in the sense that my team has been knocked out, and I'm just going to go for objectively who I think is the next best team, and that's who I think it is.
I can't disagree. I agree. I agree with what you say. Even if I shared a different opinion, like I said, Bayern is the closest thing to PSG right now. They're the only team that could
Bayern
stop them.
is winning 85% of their games right now compared to 73% at PSG. Really? Bayern are only losing 3% compared to PSG's 17%. Oh. This is across the whole year. Bayern's expected goals for is 2.3. PSG's is 2.1. And the shots taken per match, Bayern's taking 20 shots per match. PSG's only taking 17. These are just a couple of things that I'm looking at because it's not always easy to find team analytics in soccer. But, Bayern averaging 67%. That's a great number. That's a beautiful number. In the possession game, PSG averaging 70%. So they are seeing more of the ball, but, maybe not winning games as commanding. they are in excellent form. They're getting an average of 2.7 points per match. So Bayern are feeling it right now. Everybody's in great form on that squad. Obviously, Kane and Diaz immediately come to mind.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully they can lead their clubs to something special in the upcoming World Cup. That would be England and Colombia, respectively. We're going to move away from that matchup, though. The other one, Atletico Madrid and Arsenal. I think this is going to be Atletico Madrid. I don't want Arsenal to win a Champions League. That's the last thing that club needs to do right now. They have the defense for it. They have an unbelievable center back pairing. The tactics that Mikel Arteta has been able to implement defensively have been great. The issue is moving forward. Luigi, what do you think is going to happen against Atletico Madrid for Arsenal in this series? That one is in 2 days, on Wednesday.
That's a really interesting thing because both of these teams are like the complete opposite game style of the other two. Like PSG and Bayern are like free flowing, attack minded, and like even if like they are astute defensively, both of these teams just defend.
Yeah.
So like I don't know what to expect. I expect at most like 2-0 on aggregate for like one of the teams. I agree. I'm kind of in the same boat as you. I do think Atletico will win. I think, I feel like, it's just kind of in the Arsenal DNA to bottle it and not make it to the UCL final. But and I also generally think that Atletico has players more suitable or like more experienced that can help, like Griezmann, Oblak, Jimenez, Koke, players who have sadly lost UCL finals, but they've reached UCL finals, who have been to the quarterfinals, the semifinals. They know the grit it takes to get over the hump. They know what they also know what it's like, to come up short. But knowing that, it's just like experience in these type of games really help out a lot. And I think that's one thing Arsenal, I think that they lack in. They don't have like a guy in their starting lineup who has experience in these sorts of matches. Like they know that their back's against the wall, how to react instead of just, sitting back, because with all due respect, they can sit back all they want, and they could play for penalties if they want, because I don't know who's going to do anything for them on attack. Like Gyökeres is terrible. Havertz is a donkey. Saka's just not the same. Madueke is in the same category as Havertz. Trossard is just...
chill on Havertz, bro. Everybody doesn't like this guy, and then he comes in and scores every time. Chill on Havertz.
Chill on Havertz. Trossard and Martinelli bring nothing. Like it's just like who's gonna score for Arsenal? They like Atletico Madrid. They got Griezmann, they got Sorloth, they got Lookman, they got Baena, like Simeone. Like there's players I could see like that can produce a threat for Arsenal. I don't see Arsenal being a threat to Atletico's defense, and that says a lot when they might start Longley in defense.
Yeah, Longley will be an issue for them if they start him. He is
very past it.
He's kind of been a problem in prior legs so far in this Champions League run for Atletico Madrid.
Yes.
We'll go with the picks. I'm picking Bayern. I'm picking Atletico Madrid, and you're going
PSG and Atletico Madrid.
Okay. Remember, folks, these games are tomorrow, Tuesday. They're at 3 p.m. And then also Atletico Madrid plays Wednesday at 3 p.m. And then the next games will be the week after. Following that week, they will be then Tuesday and Wednesday. I think that is just about going to do it for this week's rendition of The Kickoff. You can find all of it on 12 Sports on YouTube. That's where we're putting all these episodes. And thank you, of course, to Brian, who's on the switcher now. Thank you for helping. We appreciate you. No, don't look at me like that. I didn't give you permission to look in here. I was just saying thank you. Yes. See, when he interferes with the on-air talent, then it disrupts the flow.
Exactly.
That's what happens.
SMH,
He's
Brian.
doing it again. He's looking again. SMH from Luigi.
SMH, Brian. SMH.
Luigi says SMH. Luigi, is there anything else that you want? Oh, real quick, actually. Best team in the world,
PSG. That was like in the second question.
Okay, yeah. I was gonna say I meant to ask you that, and you kind of already answered that. He said that he was gonna say PSG for both answers to both of those questions. Man, I'm tripping over my words here. We got to get off the air.
It's all good.
It's all good. The time is 4 p.m. here on 98.5 WNUW LP Aston. Luigi, anything you want to say to the folks?
Forza Napoli and Conte out.
Farza. Sounded like you said fart this week.
Nah, Forza.
Forza, not Farza. Okay, folks, I'm going to say go Chelsea. Come on, you Blues. And, of course, Blueco out. They are destroying my club. We're going to leave you with Small Pools. This song is Dreaming here on 98.5 WNUW. Enjoy your Monday.